Hey guys, and welcome once again to the channel. In episode 3 I showed you how to build this little attachment. You can have a look in episode 3. I've also got the building plans linked in the description there. So for today's video I'm going to show you how we're going to operate this attachment. This is an active attachment that we're going to put on this robot over here. And we're going to make the robot do some maneuver with it. But there's one important thing that we need to do first, and that's to zero out our motors. Why do you want to zero out your motors? Zeroing the motor brings it back to zero, as the term suggests, but it also makes sure that your motors can actually do much more precise movements. So if you have a look here, right on the motor here, there's a small little gray circle over there. And then on the other side of the motor, where are you? Over here. You have a look here. There's a gray marker over there. Now, if the motor is zeroed out, that marker and this circle will be in alignment. You can do it by hand, but we are much better than that. We're going to do it in code. So let's go over to the code screen. Okay, over on the code screen, we're just going to start a quick new project, and it's going to be a word blocks project. And right here in the motor section, we've got a code block here that we can just quickly drag in here. So what it says here, it's going to move one motor. You can see it's a bit different from these blocks where it says a dual motor. So this is only going to move one motor. So we're going to plug our motor into a available port and then tell it to go the shortest path. We've got three options here. We're wanting it to go the shortest path to position 0, which is that little gray circle. So I'm going to select shortest path, and I think if I have a look at my robot over there, there should be a port E available. So I'm going to plug the motor into there, and then we're just going to run this little piece of code. So I'm going to start up let me plug in everything quickly, and then we'll run it. Okay, I've got the motor connected to port E, and I'm just going to show you now. I'm going to hold up the motor here to the camera. Then in the background, I'm going to switch over to the code screen and just run. I've already connected via Bluetooth to the robot brick. And we're just going to run this code quickly and have a look what happens. Let's run the code. And as you can see, it lines up both of the small little symbols on the motor. So now the motor is actually zeroed out. So now with that done, we need to do it with the other 3 motors that we have on the robot. So currently I have in ports A, B, and D, I've got motors plugged in. Ports A and B has got the movement motors for the tracks, and port D is for where the active attachment is going to connect to. So I'm just going to zero out all those motors because I have been running this up and down a bit. So I'm just going to make sure that all of the motors are zeroed out. So I'm just going to run this code here. And as you can see, all of the motors have been zeroed out. And you only need to do this when you really want to make sure that your movements are really precise, when you're using centimeters, and as in this case, I'm going to show you for the active attachment, we're going to use the seconds to make it move. Now, before we can put the attachment onto the robot, the first and most important thing we need to do is we need to figure out which way the motor is going to turn to operate this attachment. Now, if we have a look here, if I turn the shaft on this attachment to the left hand side, it's going to open the jaws. So we know, okay, this motor's got to go to the left for this to open. If it moves to the right hand side, it's going to close. Okay. Now we have to have a look and see which way the motor is going to go. So I'm just going to do, as with the zeroing out of the motor, I'm just going to move the motor so that you can see on screen to which way the motor is going. because you can have this motor in any kind of orientation, and I don't want to connect this attachment before I know which way the motor is going to go. Why? Because you might just overextend the motor and then break one of the gears, or maybe break that worm gear over there. And that's not what I'm intending to do. So let's have a look. Now, to find out which way the motor is going to turn, I'm just going to drag this code block out here and drag it into the main program. Now this is just test, so that's not going to be a full program, so I'm not going to drag in the coding block to tell it to stop and exit the program. This is just to figure out which way the motor is going to turn. So I've got my motor here, the one with the active attachment, which is on D. And it's telling, and I can now have two options here. Let's go to the right hand side. And I'm just going to do it for one rotation. And let's have a look which way the motor is going to go. So this is going to be a mirror image. So I'm going to run it. Okay. For me, I'm seeing the motor with this code block going to the left. So if I change this around that way, stop this code here quickly. Let's run it again. And now the motor is going to the right hand side. Okay, so this is like a inverse of what it is on screen is what you're going to get on the robot itself. So this is going to go to the right. This is going to go to the left. And if we have a look, what we want to do is we want to open the jaws. So going to the left, it's going to open it. Going to the right, it's going to close it. Now with the motor zeroed out, the attachment affixed to the brick, I've built a small object for it to pick up. Now at the present moment, the robot has absolutely no idea that there is an object that it needs to pick up. It doesn't know where the object is or how far it is. It doesn't know when to open the jaw and to pick it up. So we're going to tell it how to do that now. So first things first, we need to tell the brick where the movement motors are set. That's set to ports A and B. Then I showed you in a previous video how to get this extra movement node over here. We're going to click on that. We're just going to drag this one out here. And currently it's set that both of the motors have to move 10 centimeters at a 50% speed on both of the motors. So I'm guessing here that's going to be about 30 centimeters. That's guessing it. Just put 30 centimeters in there. And I want to run this at a 25% speed. Just because I've got not that much space on my tabletop here. And I'm a bit worried the robot might just run off into the sunset. So we've got that set up now. Then because we are running a program, we need to follow good coding practice and end the program and exit it. Right, let's have a look and see, did we actually get close with this code? Can we get close to the object? Let's have a look. That is very close to it. Right, so we know that the centimeters that we've got is perfect, and the speed that it is running at, and it's got the best speed that it is running at the moment. So now we need to tell it to open the jaw. So we're going to drag out this code from the motors node. Come over here. And that motor is set to port D on the brick. Now we know from the note that we made over here and the test that we have done before that running this motor to the right is going to open the jaw. Running it to the left is going to close it. Now what we're going to do is we're not going to run it in rotations. We're going to run this in seconds. Why are we going to use seconds? Seconds is just that much more precise. You can run this motor at 0.5 of a second and it will just open it that little bit that you can use. when you want to work with an attachment like this active attachment that we have on this robot, it's just one of the best moves to go for. So let's have a look. Gonna just put the stop in there. I'm just going to reset the robot quickly, and we're going to run it again. Right, let's see what happens now. Well, we are really close to it now. Now we just need to move it that little bit forward so the attachment can go over the object, and then close the attachment again. Right, so what we need to do now is we're going to tell it to move. Let's go to the movement section here. And we say, all right, that I think is going to be just 3 centimeters at the same amount of speed. As soon as it has done that, we can tell it to close the jaw. So we're going to say, all right, for D, and we run it in the opposite direction, also for 1 second. Right, let me reset the robot quickly, and we'll run this code and see what happens. Now with the robot reset once more, I actually forgot I want this robot, as soon as it picked up that object, I wanted to move backwards again. So for this, we're just gonna make the speed over here -25 and another -25, and we'll go backwards 30 centimeters. Right, let's give this a run and see what happens. Guys, and that's how easy it is to make a robot do something. You just need to tell it where it is and how far it is, and it will go and fetch. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop me a like and I'll bring you some more. See you again. Cheers.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range, 'cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't